Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are dismantling what is easily the most pervasive illusion of our modern era, the myth of the AI neo-god. If you've ever felt that sudden wave of existential anxiety watching an algorithm spit out a stunning digital masterpiece or complex code in just 10 seconds flat and worrying that human creators are somehow becoming obsolete, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. But today, we're going to completely demystify this tech. We're looking under the hood at the cold, hard mechanics of computation to shatter that illusion once and for all and empower you as the undeniable human pilot.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for the journey ahead. First, the AI creator myth. Second, the von Neumann Babelfish. Third, algorithmic distortion. Fourth, the sweat of the brow. And finally, the Sovereign Orchestrator.
Starting right off with Section 1, the AI creator myth.
Let me ask you a kind of funny but deeply profound question to set the stage here. Has an AI ever stubbed its toe? I mean, the obvious answer is no, right? But that perfectly highlights exactly what's missing in this whole conversation. A machine doesn't have an inner self. It has literally never felt heartbreak or joy or physical pain. It completely lacks the biological friction and the internal drive required to express authentic lived human meaning.
And this brilliantly illustrates what the philosopher Hannah Arendt pointed out decades ago. She stated that true creation requires praxis. Basically, an active, engaged doing that is completely, inextricably tied to lived human experience. True art and creation, they aren't just about arranging data. They require actually fighting your way through the messy, emotional maze of life. And that is something cold silicon simply cannot do.
Which brings us to a really fascinating concept from cultural theorist Roland Barthes way back in 1967. He defined something called a scripter. It's basically a mechanical vessel that blindly mimics and recombines existing cultural texts without actually originating any ideas. Well, modern generative AI is the ultimate digital scripter. It acts exactly like a giant mental kaleidoscope, taking our pre-existing human culture, spinning it, and making curious new combinations without a single shred of conscious origination.
Moving on to Section 2, the von Neumann Babelfish. So, we are dealing with a massive modality divide between our minds and the hardware itself. On one side, we have human cognition, which researchers often call OS alpha. It's warm, fluid, highly associative, and beautifully messy. On the exact opposite side, we have the computer's arithmetic logic unit, or ALU. It is cold, rigid, strictly deterministic, and operates purely on discrete electrical voltages. There's no subtext there at all. To safely cross this massive gap between fluid thought and rigid hardware, we rely on a very specific kind of bridge.
Enter what we can call the von Neumann Babelfish. If you're a sci-fi fan, you know a Babelfish is a universal translator. Generative AI operates exactly like this. It's a mindless sequence-to-sequence translator. It blindly ingests one format, like an English text prompt, maps it to a complex mathematical space based on statistical probabilities, and spits out a totally new format, like a block of Python code or an image. But it does all of this without truly comprehending a single word. It acts as an incredible enabler and a mechanical brush, sure, but you are always the authentic painter.
Let's look at Section 3, algorithmic distortion.
It's honestly shocking to realize that roughly 80 to 90% of modern AI compute cycles powering these massive models, which we've averaged out to 85%, are actually just lossy hardware-level approximations. When the physical hardware processes billions of parameters, it isn't always doing exact math. It is effectively throwing darts at a dartboard, making mathematical guesses just to prioritize breakneck speed over perfect fidelity.
And the direct result of that hardware guessing is algorithmic distortion. This is the unpredictable mathematical degradation that acts quite literally like a digital wood chipper. It grinds up your original, precise human intent into what researchers call an untraceable statistical smoothie. This chaotic, probabilistic guesswork is the absolute enemy of true authorship. It results in this automated miasma where your exact vision is just totally lost in the machine's translation.
Now for Section 4, the sweat of the brow.
So how do we fix this? We bridge this gap using what we call the semiotic bridge. It's a crucial three-step pipeline connecting your fluid mind to the cold machine. Step 1. Human intent initiates in your associative mind. Step 2. That abstract intent is forcefully formalized into discrete text or code. But step 3 is the absolutely vital key here. The human steward must actively prune the execution. Bridging abstract philosophy to cold silicon safely requires deliberate, manual human stewardship. You can't just fall asleep at the wheel.
Because AI completely lacks true agency of its own, legal systems and computer science frameworks are quietly reviving this historic concept called the sweat of the brow doctrine. Historically, copyright law granted protection based on the sheer physical labor, biological friction, and intense manual effort an author poured into a work. Today, courts and secure systems are increasingly demanding this exact same rigorous human labor as the ultimate proof of originality and control. Undeniable truth absolutely demands the messy, physical steering of a real human being.
The crucial point to take away from this is to combat algorithmic distortion, you must apply prostortion. Prostortion is the proactive, painstaking manual steering and substrate pruning required to deliberately bend the machine's statistical guesses back toward your exact deterministic intent. It is you actively keeping your hands firmly on the creative steering wheel, physically editing the code, and aggressively correcting the AI's hallucinations instead of just accepting the noise.
To prove this effort is actually quantifiable, look at this number, 55.5 million. That represents 55.5 million units of literal metabolic flux. It's a concrete digital record proving that actual human energy, physical calories, and focused intent were spent to orchestrate an AI system. It serves as an undeniable digital monument to true human sweat and effort, proving a human was at the wheel.
And finally, Section 5, the Sovereign Orchestrator.
First, a very serious warning for all of us. If you lazily surrender technical execution to the AI without manually pruning the code, without applying that sweat of the brow we just talked about, you risk becoming a moral crumple zone. Just like the front of a car is explicitly designed to crush on impact to save the cabin, a human operator who passively lets the algorithm run wild will be unfairly positioned to absorb all the legal liability and societal impact when that complex system inevitably fails. You simply cannot outsource accountability to a probabilistic machine.
Instead, you have to step into your new role as the Sovereign Orchestrator. We're no longer solitary originators, painstakingly rendering every single detail by hand. No, we eagerly surrender the pure brute force, tedious technical execution to the machine. But, and this is the absolute core of the new paradigm, we retain 100% of the strategic management, the moral mandate, and the rhetorical control. The machine simply provides the immense computational sweat, but you, standing at the gate, provide the soul. I want to end this explainer with a final, provocative thought for you to carry forward. As we plunge deeper into this algorithmic era, remember that the AI is literally just sitting there. It's a blind, deterministic bridge waiting for your command. So what's it going to be? Will you passively let the machine guess and just accept the statistical smoothie? Or will you step up, aggressively wield your biological friction, and orchestrate your exact vision into reality? The choice, and the true magic of authorship, remains entirely up to you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and remember to keep questioning the architecture around you.